Well, hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the call for tonight. And this is the Product Creation Challenge. This is actually our first hands on session. This is going to be a session number 3, and it's actually going to be the first of our hands on sessions. So if you have seen the first 2, you can actually view them. They are available on my YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/gain mindshare. You can always pick them up there. I'll put that address in the box. And this is not going to be any more instruction. What we want to do is we want to take what we've already done, and we want to practically apply that. And what we really want to do is is try to get you moving on actually working on your product. And so I want to give you a few practical things on this call so that you will actually hopefully get off of this call, and between tonight and tomorrow, that you'll actually start work on what it is that you're going to be doing. So hopefully by now you have found a pain point. And again, I want to encourage you that it doesn't have to be perfect. This is not designed for you to be. This is not the last product you're ever going to create. The goal of this challenge is for you to get started. And so if you don't feel like found it's not quite a pain point, that's fine. You want to get on this product right now as close as you can. And so you want to get through the creation process and the launch process. And I almost guarantee you that during that process, and even actually talking to people, and even once you sell it, you will start to get a sense for what a real pain point is, and you'll already be knowing you'll already know what your next product is going to be. And so that's really partially the goal. Actually, Jeff, you don't have to go to that link. If you missed the first 2 sessions of the challenge, the other recordings are there. That's what I was saying. So it's all on that on my other on the YouTube channel. I think it's already there, all the way there. At the bottom, you'll see the Product Creation Challenge, and there are the first 2 or 3 sessions. Okay, so that's youtube.com/gain mindshare. And if you subscribe, you'll probably get them automatically. Okay, now, so I'm going to go to my slides. First of all, are there any questions on anything that I've covered up until this point in the Product Creation Challenge? So as you know, the idea is for you to create a product that you're actually going to sell. And we're not looking for this one to be perfect. We're really just kind of looking for this one to be one that's going to be as close to the market as you can possibly get it. And I'm kind of getting onto my slides here so that I can, okay, there are my slides. What I'm going to do here is, let's see, I need to kind of plan my slides here a little better. And I'm going to put a little animation in there so as not to distract you. All right. We are ready to go. And I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay, so this is session 3. It's actually day 6 of the Product Creation Challenge. Yeah, and so this is going to be a little more practical than what we've done over the last couple of days, and even what we do on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now, today, one of the things that you really want to start doing, if you haven't done it already, hopefully you found the pain point. Hopefully you've decided on what your product is going to be and what you're going to try to solve. So hopefully you found the problem that somebody's having that you're going to try to solve, or that you've decided that you're going to solve. And so now this is where really where the rubber meets the road. And so you are actually going to plot out your information product right now. So all I really want you to do, this is not going to be the recording process. You're just going to plot it out. And I'll tell you why you're going to plot it out on Tuesday. And it's really because once you've actually plotted it out, what we're going to start doing is we're going to start writing the copy even before we finish the product or while we're finishing the product. And then we're also going to start talking about putting together a page for JVs. Right. So that's even before we finish the videos, even before we finish the entire product, we're going to actually plot it out. We're going to write it out for the JVs, and then we're going to actually start writing our sales copy even before we finish. Right. And I'll tell you why that is psychologically as we get into the product creation challenge. Now, let's start talking about what it is we want to do in this step. What I want you to do is, and this is a bit of an advanced concept, but I think you'll understand it. How many of you understand what I mean when I say, think of your product in terms of funnels, right? Now I'll explain to you what I mean. And I don't want to use too much jargon about this, but you want to think of your digital product in terms of funnels. And you notice there, I have the abbreviation that's FE, and that means front end. That means your first product. That means the product that you're going to create in terms of selling. And so this is going to be your information product. It's going to be course. It's going to be your software. It's going to be that course. It's going to be your PLR. Whatever it is that you're selling, that front end product is going to be the thing that is basically, it forms the core of what your product is about. If I were to get to your sales letter and I were to ask you what your product is about, this is what your front end product is going to be. Right? Does that make sense? So if you understand where I'm coming from right now, please put the number 1 in the question box. If you understand what I mean by FE or front end, right, your first product, the product you're creating, please put the number 1 in the question box if you understand what I mean right now. Okay, good. Okay, so as you start to put together this product, right, and it doesn't have to be, you don't have to necessarily save the world with this, right? That's not the idea. The idea is for you to create the product and for you to solve a problem in that front end product. Remember, the point of the product is for you to do what? Solve how many problems? 1. Right? So your front end product is going to solve 1 problem. If you are creating a PLR product, you're solving a different kind of problem, but you're still solving a problem. Let's say that you decided to create a PLR product. What problem would you be solving? Okay, what problem would you be solving? This is a bit of an advanced concept. And for those of you who know what PLR is, or master resale rights or rights products, I'm describing a particular kind of product that somebody else can put their name on and use as their product. So for those of you who are kind of listening in, okay, right. So you're solving the problem of somebody who needs content, number 1. What else, Clifton? That's good. So what other problem are you solving when you create a PLR product to sell? Okay, if you create a PLR product to sell, what problem are you solving? Okay, anybody can write in here. Okay, you could be solving the problem that your customer, don't have a product to sell, right? Okay, yeah, I don't have a product to sell, so you are creating PLR so that I can have a product to sell. Or I want to create a product in a certain area. I don't have time to do the research. So you are solving my problem by giving me the research. Okay, if you give me a video PLR product, you are solving the problem that I don't have content and I don't have time to do videos. So you're solving that kind of problem. So there are lots of ways for you to skin this cat. Most of you are going to do a how-to product and you're going to show people how to do something, right? You're going to solve a problem. So if I haven't been able to lose weight and you have this special method and you're going to tell me how to do this special method, you're solving that problem for me. So that's your front end product. Now, you notice there after the FE, I have the word enjoy, right? Enjoy. So the question then becomes, what's your upsell going to be? Right now, how many of you all in the past, when you have been thinking about a product and you kind of thought about, I know how to put together my information product, how many of you all have been stumped as to how to think about the upsell? Now, I'm going to give you the formula tonight. I'm going to give you the formula as to how you want to think about it, because you need to start thinking about this as you create this, right? So you're gonna give me the product, and you're going to in the front end product, you're going to solve my problem. Now in the upsell, you're going to put something together, and you're going to help me to enjoy solving that problem more. You're going to help me to get to solve it faster. You're going to help me with something that's going to get me into it and really help me to enjoy what it is that you put together. Right? That's your upsell. That's upsell. That's your first upsell. The second upsell is called DFY. So in other words, you're going to do part of the process for me. You're going to get me into it. Not only are you going to get me into it faster in the second upsell, you're actually going to put together something where you've done part of it for me, so that there's a part of it now I don't even have to do. So in other words, if you put together a weight loss program for me, you're going to actually give me the meals, right? You're gonna write out the meals for the first 3 weeks. You're gonna write out a month of meals, and you're gonna give me a list that all I got to do is take your list and go to the store or send somebody to the store. Done for you, right? Does that make sense? Does everybody understand now? Just the classic understanding of the first and second upsell you should be putting together. Right? Does everybody understand that? If you understand what I'm saying when I say that, please put the number 2 in the question box. Because the point of the upsell is not just to get more money. The point of the upsell is to provide more value. And so in our society, right? In our society, the way you provide more value is to save me effort and to save me time and to save me having to think, right? If you can save me having to think, if you can save me um, having to spend my time, if you can save me money, right? That's really what these upsells are designed to do. They're not just a grab for more money. I agree. You should have an upsell, but you should be thinking about this in terms of providing me more value. And the way you provide me more value is you give me back more of my time, you give me back more of my money, or you give me back more of convenience, right? Convenience is big, right? Because if I don't have to think, right, that's even better. So again, the way you want to think about this is that think about the diet product where you give me the cards and the grocery list, right? Done for you. And then lastly is maintaining, right? So how do I maintain if I get the results so your front end product, you're going to give me a result, right? The second first upsell, you're going to help me to enjoy it more. The third upsell, you're going to do part of the process for me. And the third upsell, you're going to show me how to maintain it. In many cases, this is building a community, right? So you're going to build me a community where I can interact with other people like me. Or you're going to build me a community and you're going to give me coaching on a regular basis, right? You're going to give me more access to you. Now, the maintenance should be something that you're doing and charging on a monthly basis, right? You should be charging and charging a lot for your time, because typically during the maintenance phase, you're gonna give people some of you, right? Some of you during the maintenance, so you have to charge more, right? Because you're gonna help them to maintain their results with the maintenance plan, and that's why you charge monthly. Right. So again, the idea isn't just to get more money, right? It should. Your goal is not to necessarily to get more money. Your goal is to provide more value. Right? Does everybody understand the funnel psychology? Okay. If you understand the funnel psychology now, please put the number 3 in the question box. Okay. I'm going to grab a sip of water here. Now, What you should be doing right now is breaking down your solution, right? Even if your solution is, you know, how to, you know, how to calm down, I know I used to buy, when we first had our first child, my daughter Lana, there was a guy who sold an information product, and I don't even know if I would buy it today, but we bought it. And the thing was how to get your baby to sleep after 6 weeks, right? So that you wouldn't have to. And I know, there are controversies on whether or not you should let the baby cry and all that stuff. But we were green, we were new parents, and the guy sold the information product, and we bought it, right? So we bought the product, and sure enough, it showed us after we went through it how to get Lana to sleep through the night after 6 weeks. Right now, for a new parent, that was major, and I would have paid that guy. I would have paid that guy 10 times over that. Right. So I bought the product, and then there was an upsell. Right. I could not only could I buy that program, I could actually attend something, right, on a regular basis. I could attend a class, and then I could come to a live event. So they continue to upsell and continue to email me, right? And even today, right, I still have that information product. And so my point is, it really doesn't matter what the solution is, but I guess my point to telling you this was, it was a really step-by-step program. Right, there were about 11 steps that we had to follow on a regular basis, and the guy just taught them, and he just taught them basically. I don't even know how great of a teacher he was. He just taught them, right? So, and we followed him, and it worked. So the idea is that you got to break the process down into, the ideal to me is at least 10 steps. And when I say 10 steps, I'm talking about baby steps, baby step by baby step. How many of you all remember? What is it? What about Bob? I know I'm dating the how he got Bob to kind of get over his anxiety, right? It was to take baby steps, right? So that's really what you want to do for your customer. You have to think of your customer like Bob, and so you get Bob to take baby steps, and so you break down your process into baby step by baby step by baby step by baby step and by baby step. Right. And so when you do this, you outline it. Right, Clifton, I'm sailing. Right. You do an outline. Right. And so you start by outlining what it is that you are going to teach me. And again, are you all getting this? That first of all, not only do you not have, are you all getting that you don't have to all teach somebody how to make a lot of money with your product? Are you all getting that now? Are you all understanding now that you can choose something, at least for this first product, teach somebody something that's really going to help them? And it doesn't matter if you don't have a lot of people buying this first thing. I want you to go through the process, learning how to do this with something that something you can really teach somebody. Right? Does that make sense? If you're getting that, please put the number 4 in the question box. That you don't have to, it doesn't have to be how to be a great CPA marketer. It doesn't have to be how to make $1 gazillion, right? That doesn't have to be it for this first one. Right now, when you actually learn the process, now you can then go back and teach people how to make $1 million, right? You can go back and do that. But I want you to go through this process, and I just want you to get into something, to create a product and teach people something you're comfortable teaching, right? All right, now do an outline of what it takes. But yeah, Jeff, but as long as you're solving a problem, right? If you've gone through that process of solving that pain point, right? The pain point is the key, right? Somebody, I can't guarantee anybody's going to buy it, but I'm just saying, if you solve a pain point, right? I wouldn't have imagined anybody would have bought a product on how to get your baby to sleep through the night, right, as an internet marketer. But I bought that thing, and that was even before the internet was even. It was on cassettes. That's even before the internet. I don't even think I bought it on the internet. I had to call to get it. And so this stuff works even if it's not on the internet. The internet just is a channel, right, for it. Okay, now, so outline it. So start thinking about, and again, I'm saying at least 10 chapters or 10 steps. You can have more than that, right? And as long as you're baby stepping people through the process, right? As long as you're baby stepping people through the process, you can actually create this product. Yep, you can get people to pay for a webinar. I'll actually show you that on this call. Okay, now, you want to design the product to get them the result. Design it to get them the result. Because again, and that's really why you want to create the baby steps, right? Because you got to step people you can't skip steps. You have to think of your customer as if they don't know anything. And that's really why the baby product is a perfect example. Think about a new parent, right? For those of you who are parents, how much did you know about babies when you were a parent? Nothing, right? Nothing except for what your parents may have told you. And so what you've got to do then is you literally are either dependent on what other people are telling you, or you're trying to follow something. And we were following basically this program. Right. And so this guy was stepping you through this program, and you have to, whatever you're teaching, even if you do try to decide you're going to teach people, let's say you decide you are going to do a make money online product and you're going to teach people how to write a Kindle book, right? If you're going to teach people how to write a Kindle book, you have to start with, okay, do you have Microsoft Word? Do you know how to write? Do you know how to outline something? Stepping them through all the basics from square one, right? So design the product, baby step them to get the result. Now, I'm going to suggest that you use PowerPoint just like I'm doing right now, right? You do one PowerPoint, right? One chapter is going to be on one slide, right? One chapter for one slide. Right? Or one set of slides. So you take one step, you make that into chapter one or step one, and you put that on your first slide or first set of slides. Okay, I'm going to stop right now and just kind of make sure you understand what I'm saying when I say that. So that makes sense to you. So you use just like you see what I'm doing with PowerPoint, right? This is one chapter. Right? I might just make this into an information product. And this is going to be one step. This is going to be one chapter. This slide that I'm doing right now. Okay, use PowerPoint. Right? And you do it, and this is really the way I suggest you do it. I mean, of course, you can do it the way you want to, and the way that makes sense for you. But this chapter is called Plot Out Your Book or Information Product. And so you've got to you take your information and you break it down into steps, and each step should be on one slide. Okay, I misspelled don't, but now I understand that some of you all are going to be different, right? And I know everybody does presentations differently. My wife prefers to use a script. When she created Extreme Couponing, she had to write the whole script out. I'm a little different. And so I suggest you don't use a script, right? I suggest that you talk through each of your points. Now, if you have to write a script, then do that. It's just going to take you longer. And I'm just going to suggest that for this first product, you don't write a script. You write your points, and as you and again, you should be using animation just like I'm using, one point at a time. You step through one step. In other words, when I go back and I pull this one down, I'm going to talk about that one. Right? I'm going to talk through that one until I'm done with this point. Right? Again, I know not everybody wants to do that. I know that everybody's not comfortable with that. If you need to write a script, go ahead and do it. If you just cannot do it this way, but I'm going to suggest you do not, unless you are really, really used to teaching online. It's going to sound like you're scripting. Now, my wife has been teaching college online for years and been lecturing online, so she can actually do a script without making it sound like a script, right? I think she's been teaching online since 2004. So, and that's what, 11 years of talking to a computer screen. So I think she's a little different. I don't suggest you do it the way she does it. I suggest that you do it the way I'm telling you this first one. And then if you figure out, okay, you know what, I really need to use a script, then for your next information product, then script it out. Okay, now, I suggest you use Camtasia or ScreenFlow in order to record the video. Now, I'm going to give you an alternative to that tonight. But at some point, I think if you're going to create information products, you need Camtasia or ScreenFlow. I know that there are lots of a lot of other programs that do screencasting. I don't think that any of them can touch Camtasia. For what you need as an internet marketer, quite frankly, I think you need Camtasia. Everything else can be a step to getting Camtasia, but Camtasia, ScreenFlow, in my opinion, if you're going to create information products, more than one, I believe you need Camtasia. And that's just, I'm saying that as an internet marketer, and you should have it to me as an internet marketer. And I talked about that in the 30-day challenge, I think, as well as Screencast University. Now, one of the things I suggest you do when you're creating your information product, now right now, I'm using two screens. I'm using a monitor on my right side. I'm reading the script, and I'm looking at you directly in the camera when I do turn on the camera. Now, what I do is I'm suggesting that you use two screens. I suggest that you use two screens and you put your script or your talking points on one side and you put your recording on the other side, right? And so you keep stepping through that presentation. And I don't know how you can do this without two screens, frankly. Right? I don't. And so if you're not using two monitors, you can actually do a good presentation. I'm saying it's going to be a lot easier if you use a second monitor. And I just picked up a monitor today at a computer show for $100. Right? I mean, they're really cheap these days. And that's and that one is 27 inches and just a whole 9 yards. Right? You can get them really, really, really cheap these days. I think that I saw some on Amazon today, 27 inches for $50. So again, I would suggest that you use two screens when you're going to create your information product. And again, I talk about that in Screencast University. Now, lastly, I suggest that you use PLR, but you only use it for reference. In other words, don't read it. Just make sure you absorb it and understand it, and then use it in your content. Right? Yeah, Helen. If you use two screens, what you're really doing is you're extending your screen. So it's not really splitting it. Yeah, I guess in a sense you are. You are extending your desktop onto two screens, and so you slide things back and forth in between the two. And that's really what helps you to be more productive, and also helps you to be able to really navigate your presentation while you do that. And Windows has a way of doing that. It's really, really, really easy. Right? It's really easy to be able to put that together. And I think I go over that in Screencast University. So if you've already got it, I think I'll go over that. Okay. Okay, so what can you start doing right now? Right? So let's assume that you have you have your outline, or you're going to be writing your outline. So what can you start doing? And so one of the things I said is that I'm going to suggest as an alternative. Now, there's an alternative way to be able to do this. And for those of you who have Webinar Fusion Pro, one of the ways in which you can present your information is just the way I'm doing it right now. And I would actually suggest that you invite some people to your webinar. Excuse me. I suggest you invite some people to your webinar and that you deliver your content. Now, why do I say that? I say that because you're going to deliver your best content if you have people there. Right? If you can get people there, and you're going to be, these people are going to be there, you're going to actually, first of all, force yourself to put your presentation together. You're going to deliver your best content, not your worst. and you're going to give people the best that you possibly can, because you'll be embarrassed if you don't. So I suggest that you bring people on your webinar and you put your slide presentation together and you go through each one. Now, when you get done with your webinar, let me show you what's going to happen and what you're going to have when you're done, right? And why I say this. I'm going to go to YouTube right now. Most of you all know this already, but it does bear mentioning, and it's pretty important because in terms of product creation, I know one of the things that really stops people sometimes is the video editing process, right? So some people are really intimidated by that. I you know, kind of, I don't know, that stuff. Just I kind of geek out on some of that stuff, but not everybody does. And I'm not saying you're a bad person if you don't. Now, here's what I want. I'm going to bring this over here. Okay, so this is my dashboard inside of YouTube, right? Now, and I'm going to size this up so you can see it. Maybe it's going to get even bigger. My memory's kind of jazzed up here. Okay. Okay, I think I overdid it here. Yeah, I overdid it. Okay, I'm going to size. Okay. All right, 175. All right, 150. Okay, that's good. Okay, now I'm gonna go to my video manager here. And the reason I want to go to my video manager is I want to underscore something to you. Okay, how many of you all see this video that we're looking at, GTP setup hacks? Now, this was the webinar that I did, right? And when I do that webinar in Webinar Fusion Pro, that video is going to automatically be in my YouTube channel, right? It's going to already be there. So I don't have to render it. I don't have to go through any processing with it. It's already there, right? So again, if I just want to be fast with this and I don't want to go through the editing process, I can use Webinar Fusion Pro and my video is already going to be there. Right now, I've done this video now and it's now on YouTube. So now what do I need to do? Well, once I have that video there, I can now go to the upload area. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over here now to the video editor. Right? When I go to the video editor, I can now create a new project. I'm going to stop this video before it starts playing. I'm going to create a new project. I'm going to call this new project I'm going to call this new project My New Product. Okay, so now that I have my new product, I'm now going to take that Genius Trainer Pro. I'm now going to take that video that I just created with Webinar Fusion Pro that's on my YouTube channel, and I'm now going to slide that over here to edit. right? And I'm going to say, you know what? I don't want that. I don't want myself on there. So I'm going to take myself out of there. Right? And I'm going to cut myself out. So in other words, you can actually start using the YouTube editor, right, in order to start making the video that you're going to use in order to put inside of your product. Right? So now again, I'm talking about quick and dirty create a product, right? You could actually just do a webinar and actually, Jerry, so I'm going to address your question as to being able to pay for a webinar here in a minute. Okay, yeah, and Keon's question is, can you select which YouTube that it will automatically load to? Yes. When I go through the process of getting started with webinar, before I actually log in, I'm going to log into the Google account channel to work from. Right, so Webinar Fusion Pro is going to actually use the Google account that you are logged into in order to grab and put the video into your YouTube channel. Right, so that in answer to your question. Okay, so now this creates an advantage for me, right, as a product creator, because now what I could do is if I didn't, again, the best case scenario, guys, is still going to be to use Camtasia. But if Camtasia is going to be a deal breaker and it's going to make you not do it, then just do it in Webinar Fusion Pro. Right? Create your video, invite people, and inviting people to a webinar does is it forces you to do a good presentation. It forces you to be dynamic. It forces you to give your best content. It forces you to be clear, right? Now, what you're going to do with that video, right? So now you have this video, right? So now you got this video. And so what are you going to do with that video? Well, once it's actually done, and I'm going to go back here to my video, I'm now going to go back to YouTube, right? And what I can do now with this video is, I'm going to go back one more. I don't know if you could. I think you can. Well, Helen, you can do the lower third while you're doing Webinar Fusion Pro. So you can I don't do one, but you can and you should do a lower third while you do Webinar Fusion Pro. You can do that, right? You can turn that on. And so it will actually be in there while you're doing the actual recording. So you wouldn't do it with the editor, but you would do it while you're doing the recording. Okay, so now I'm back inside. I'm looking at my videos, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to that drop down box, and if you can see that there, you notice that there's a download MP4 there, right? So that means now that if I'm inside of my channel, I can download that MP4 video to either do some more editing, or I can take that MP4 video so that I can strip it for the MP3. Right? So does that make sense? Is everybody kind of clear on where I am right now? If you understand what I just talked about downloading the MP4 from your channel, once you have your edited video, please put the number 5 in the question box. And I'm going to take a sip of water here while you do that. Okay, yeah, Jeff, Camtasia has awesome video editing tools. And quite frankly, I still say your first choice is Camtasia. But again, if Camtasia is going to be a deal breaker and it's going to keep Camtasia is going to keep some people from actually finishing their product. That's right, Keon. Exactly. And the reason I suggest Webinar Fusion Pro is because Camtasia is going to be a deal breaker for some people. They're not. It's just going to intimidate them, and they'll get stuck in the editing process and never finish. And I would not want that. And that really happens to people, right? They get Camtasia, and they get their video, and they start the editing process, and it's just overwhelming. And so what I'm suggesting to you is that if that's kind of all over your head and is keeping you, not you personally, but keeping somebody from actually completing their product, just do it in YouTube, right? Just do it and get your recording in YouTube, and then download the MP4. Okay, now, okay, so now that we have that, I want to show you one other thing here. And it was actually a question that Jerry had, and it's a great question. I want to show you one thing inside of Webinar Fusion Pro, and it's not actually something I didn't even think of for this presentation, Jerry, and that is that if I were to create a new webinar, I'm going to go to that screen here in Webinar Fusion Pro. Right, I'm just going to slide that over, and I'm going to size up Webinar Fusion Pro. This is the new webinar screen. Right, so, okay, so I'm going to do live or record it. Okay, and so how many of you all know the screen right there? Make Hangout free or paid. Right, if I want to make this a paid one, I change this to paid. And that solves the problem. that really solves the problem right away with your product, right? If you just want to sell a webinar, right, you could just sell a paid access to a recorded webinar, right? And then all you really have to do is you create that video on YouTube. Now you do need to have, if you do need to have the automated, you do need to have the automated version of Webinar Fusion Pro. So you need to have the Pro version. But anyway, what you do is you would import the video from YouTube right there. That's where your YouTube video goes. So you put your YouTube video URL here. Webinar Fusion Pro is going to import that video, and then you're just going to make this a paid webinar. So I could take this webinar we're doing right now. I could make this into a recorded webinar, and then I can make it a paid webinar. Right? So that is one way to skin the cat. Right? That's really simple. Okay, any questions? Okay, so now I'd see there was one other thing I did want to talk about here about YouTube, and it is let's see. Okay, so now there are a number of sites where you can strip the audio from MP4s. I personally use Camtasia, and I'm going to close the browser, and I'm going to open up Camtasia 7. I'm going to open up Camtasia 7. Wow. Okay. Whoa, boy, it's getting late. I'm keeping you a lot longer than I thought I did. And I'm probably going to wrap this up soon. I didn't realize I had gone that long. Okay, so I'm going to open up Camtasia 7 just so you can see it here. And I'm probably not going to be able to cover everything that I wanted to. I did want to kind of touch on Genius Trainer Pro for a second. And And then maybe what I'll do is I will the next before we get into it hot and heavy on Tuesday, I will talk about everything else that I was going to talk about in this session for the product creation challenge. I did not mean to go this long. Okay, so Dale's question is, can you yeah, so the basic webinar Fusion Pro, Dale, will record to YouTube. Exactly. What you wouldn't be able to do is to create an automated webinar. Aha, yep, that's right, Sam. All right, so now what you're looking at right now is a basic version of Camtasia Studio, and this is the old version. And I prefer to use the old version. I have 2 copies of Camtasia 8, and I prefer to use Camtasia 7, which is the older version, and I continue to use a Windows 7 computer. I can't remember who I talked to about that today, but I have not upgraded to Windows 10. I have not upgraded to Windows 8. I still use Windows 7, and I use Camtasia 7, and that's really one of the reasons why I have not upgraded, because I don't know if I can use Camtasia 7 with Windows 10. Right? And I'm not really a tech guy. I'm not really into computers like that, but I do know enough to know that I have a good thing going with Windows 7 and Camtasia 7, and I'm going to use it until they make me stop. Okay, so Camtasia, I'm just going to briefly show you. And again, if you really want to know how to use Camtasia, I suggest that you pick up Screencast University. I go through that in detail. Right? How to use that to create a product. But you're kind of looking here, and you do your editing down here. Do my audio editing down here, and so that's that. Okay, any questions? Let me fly through this. Let me fly through this really quickly. Okay, so I'm going to have to start here next time. I'll start here next time. I really want to get to Genius Trainer Pro. So if you're watching by archive, I'm sorry. I probably went longer than I like to. I didn't want to go any longer than 10:15, and it's already 10:22. All I've covered is Webinar Fusion Pro. So if you were waiting for Genius Trainer Pro and Genius Marketing Pro, sorry about that. I will cover that the next time. Okay, so are there any questions? Okay, any questions on the product creation process? Yeah. It's not going to go up in price tomorrow, but it is going to be going up in price, is what I'll tell you. Rebrand it into the Genius brand, and it's maybe $47. So that's as cheap as it's ever going to get, and it's going to go to monthly, because everything else we've got is going to go to monthly. It's not going to happen tomorrow, but it is going to happen. Okay, so Damon is asking, can you do an ebook and a webinar? Absolutely. And one of the things I was going to talk about here, Damon, was that one of the ways that I would actually, if I were going to write, and I am going to do this, right? I don't know whether I'm going to create a product showing you how to do this, but I am going to do this because I have a transcriptionist in my house. And so what I would do is I would create the webinar, and I would take the webinar and I would have the webinar transcribed. If you do 2 hours of webinar content, you have enough for a short Kindle book. And so I would take that transcription, I would have it edited, and then I would take that thing straight to Kindle. right? I would add some stuff to it. Okay. Let's see, Jeff, the upsell is the upsell is the automated. So I'll put the link to let's see, gainshare.net/fusion is the Webinar Fusion Pro, and then the automated is gainmindshare.net/fusion automated. Okay, yeah. So in answer to, I think it's Damon's question, and I am going to do this. I have not had time, and I've been wanting to do it, wanting to do it, wanting to do it. The launch threw me off. Is to do a webinar, to do 2 webinars, then take that webinar, and then have those 2 webinars transcribed, and then have them published in a Kindle book, because it's original content. Probably needs a little bit of, make sure that you don't have ums and ahs and all that stuff, right? So you have it transcribed, and then that's your Kindle book. Right now, they're going to be actually talking about that. I don't know if any of you guys saw my email. This author summit that they're doing, I'm really excited about that, and I'm going to be getting that myself. I don't do a lot of suggesting anymore of affiliate products, but this is one I really suggest that you do, because of the lineup that they have. And Ron Douglas actually he's an internet marketer, and he's a best-selling author, and he's got this product out that's about $97 on the publicity process and how he got his book done. And so I've been wanting to buy that product, and I haven't been able to find the time, or I haven't been able to find the time to use it. And he's basically now going to be doing that inside of here, as I understand it. I don't know if he's going to be doing, but I know he's going to be talking about publicity. And so Ron Douglas is to me worth the whole be asking, and they're not going to be asking a lot for this thing. So I would go check out the webinar, and if you're thinking of writing a book, I would actually go to that webinar and just check it out and see if it's for you. Right, and I think it's gainmindshare. I think I wrote in the wrong address. It's gainmindshare.net /author webinar. Right, and I think you can actually see the webinar. Okay, so that's for those of you who are writing a book. Right, that's for those of you who are writing a book. All right, so any questions? Any questions? Okay, now the next time what I'm going to do, it's probably not going to be tomorrow. What I'm going to do, because tomorrow I had promised the folks in Genius Trainer Pro I would finish up my catch-up sessions. And then when I start the product creation challenge again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up I'm going to pick it up from here. Yeah, Helen, here's what I'll tell you. They probably don't want me to tell the price. I do know what the price is going to be. And yeah, they're all going to be replays, right? If you're inside the summit. And when I say that it's going to be really minimal, it's going to be minimal for what they're giving. And I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to be dodgy, and I'm not saying, oh, it's going to be great value. You're going to get, it really is not going to be a lot of money. So for what they're doing, and I'm not saying that to try to get you all hyped up. It's really they've got this priced for everybody to come, right? And I'm going to be the first one in line, and I would actually pay 10 times what they're charging. I'll put it like that. I would honestly pay 10 times what they're charging for this. And it's really seriously not going to be a lot of money. So I would tell you the price. I don't think they want us to tell the price yet, but trust me, I'm getting it, and I'm making my daughters actually sit through it. Okay. Any other questions? I appreciate that, Helen. And that I'm just being real with you as I can. Yeah, they're all the sessions are gonna be recorded. They're all gonna be recorded, and I actually, Ron and Alice, I have their PLR thing, and it's very, very well done. So if it's as well done as this, it's going to be fantastic. And it's less. It's it's actually way less than I paid for anything else I bought from them. I'll tell you that. I've bought stuff from Ron and Alice, and this is way less than anything I bought from them. So, all right. Any other questions? Okay, everybody. It's my goodness. It's 10:30, and I did not mean to hold you an hour. Um, yeah. So Genius Marketing Pro is a platform. So you got the ability to create messaging. You've got the ability to create funnels. That's really what I want to show you today, because you need to be thinking in terms of funnels, even as you create this information product. And you have the ability to integrate with your webinar system, and that's another thing I want to cover. Oh yeah, and Helen, they're actually going to be covering marketing in this thing. Ron, now if you listen to the call that Ron did today, Ron actually covered marketing in the free call, right? So pretty good job covering marketing today in a general sense. Now they've got some people on here. I think Ty Cohen, they're going to cover some stuff in terms of the marketing end that'll really, I think, help you if you've already got your Kindle books. Okay. All right. I'm actually gonna put that in here again. Gainmindshare.net/author webinar. Okay. Yep. Awesome. Yep. Very, very cool. Okay, guys. Well, it's 10:32, and again, we will make sure to try to keep this 30 to 45 minutes, and I will pick this up where I left off. I believe it's on Tuesday. Now, tomorrow night is for those of you who are in Genius Trainer Pro, it'll be the call that I promised you, where I'm gonna actually kind of go through. I think I merge on tomorrow. It might not. I think I'm supposed to do vMerge tomorrow. So with that, everybody, thank you very much for being here on your Sunday night. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.